Hey everybody, it's Romania Black. Oh my god, we're on Seraph at the end! Episode 10, the results of the choice. We don't know what the choice is. It could have to do with Mika and choosing to be a vampire. It could have to do with our whole Imperial Demon Army and choosing to sign contracts with demons as weapons. It can do with a lot of different things. But man, we've really set the stage with these last two episodes. I really liked the last episode. It was great, especially with getting the focus on Mika and our diva vampire Farid. But yeah, setting the stakes and getting all of our characters together. So you and Mitsuba and Kimizumi and Yoichi and Shinawa, they've been split up. So it's just you and Shinawa and the medic, the guy that was driving the truck that they were in that got turned over by vampires. And then you also have, Yoichi and Kimizuki and Mitsuba are together. And then meanwhile, Mika and Guren are maybe gonna fight. I don't know. What? I don't know how to feel about that. I feel like Mika's probably gonna run away, or Guren's gonna run away, or something's gonna happen, or Farid's gonna step in. Guren seems like he's by himself, but Guren established that they're not supposed to work alone. They're supposed to be all together. So I imagine that even though we just saw Guren, I feel like he's not gonna be alone, and Mika's gonna be like, oh crap, there's all these people here, I need to get out of here now. And we learned that Mika has been living off Cruel's blood this entire time. He's never drank from the blood of a human. He's just been living off this vampire blood to stay alive, and is just drinking the bare minimum. Okay, so yeah, setting lots of things up, and we just have 3 episodes left of the first core, and then do the OVAs and things like that, and then start season 2 or core 2. But oh my gosh, the last couple episodes have really kicked off, and I've really, really enjoyed them. Like, this series has been a nice little slow burn into the plot, but where it's going now, I really like it. So I'm curious to see what all things we're gonna get set up for, and this show does a really cool thing with its mystery world building. Because last episode, they just casually dropped, they're like, oh yeah, we also do doping, and we do this other shady stuff, and I'm like, wait, what? So, and then we just drop these little chunks of lore throughout the story that you're like, oh, okay, and it just introduces something new. So I like that. I like that we're building up mystery, but also explaining things at the same time. Pretty cool. So yeah, I'm very excited to see what all we get with episode 10 of Seraph at the End. But this series has got really good, and I'm pretty excited about it. So let's not waste any more time, shall we? We're going to dive into episode 10 of Seraph at the End here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Oh my god, this episode. So is Guren dead? Did they just kill off Guren 10 episodes into this? Surely not. But he just got stabbed in the heart. But he just got stabbed in the heart, but he had doped up on that one pill, so. Oh my god, and you and all them just took one of them. Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't know what to think, because that was just, I really thought that when you screamed out Guren's name, that you was going to turn around in that moment and realize it was you, and you was going to see him and they were going to stop. But no! He stabbed him. I don't think he did. But. Okay, but. Mika is not a full-fledged vampire. He has not drank from a human, so he's not a full-fledged vampire. So, would he die the same way like any other vampire would? Or is it going to hurt him? And then, I imagine that Farid's going to be like, shit, there's backup, we need to get out of here. And Farid's going to grab Mika and run. Oh my gosh, it's just like... I don't even know what. I want to watch the next episode now. I want to watch it now. I don't know if I can wait. Y'all. I don't know if I can wait till next week. And I'm sorry if y'all have to, but oh no. I don't know if I can wait. Oh my god. So the Funimation was awful this episode. It lagged so bad. In 20,000 different places. I was like, what are you doing? Stop. But oh my god, I don't think I can wait, y'all. I don't think I can. I've got to know what's gonna happen. Oh, there is like a bunch of stuff go down in this episode though. So there's a lot of surprises and things I wasn't expecting to happen. So first of all, I did not expect for you and Shinoa to just get the corporal out of there with no resistance. I really thought they were going to run into something. And I thought that Yoichi and Mitsuba and Kimizuki would run into something underground in the subway, but they don't. They manage to make it out. It's just once they make it out, you and Shinoa get the corporal to the first aid base, and then Yoichi and the others run into the vampire den. So it's like, okay. And I was really surprised by how quickly things were resolved in terms of that. Because really, honestly, Yu shows up at the last minute and that he kills like the last vampire, and Kimizuki's like, well, that was it. It's like, oh, that was the battle? Okay, sure. That was the battle. And it's more the principle of why you went than it was the battle itself. It's why you chose to go back to his friends and his family, his new family. Oh my god. But yeah, so lots of things this episode. And it seems like Farad wants to make a family with Mika. He wants Mika to become a vampire and become one of them. And Mika is still very resistant. Like even Mika fighting in this episode, he does it alone. Mika wants to fight alone. He doesn't want to fight with the vampires because he doesn't want to become family with them. He's still holding on to that little bit of him that's human. He doesn't want to fully become a vampire. He wants to retain some of that humanity. And so he's being, Farad calls it arrogant, but I'm like, he's being, defiant. He doesn't want to fight, He understands that Guren and them will probably kill him regardless, so that's why he's fighting Guren and them. He's like, y'all are going to kill us regardless, and I need to find you. It was not the reunion I imagined. Oh my god. I imagined them like in the midst of a battlefield, and there's like all these which is kind of what happens, but I just imagine they both stop what they're doing and like look at each other and like, you, Mika, and that's not what happens. Oh my god. That's not what happens at all. And I was wondering, the moment that he's like, I'm going to kill Guren, I was like, I thought he was going to that the moment you showed up, that was the other thing too. I'm like, okay, when you shows up at that moment, Mika's going to be like standing over Guren's dead body. And I was like, is you really going to see like his mentor figure get killed by Mika? And that's kind of what happens, but you didn't even realize it was him and just got so mad and took a stab without even thinking. Oh my god, and his face at the end when they realize who each other are. Oh my god. I can't wait. There's no way. I'm going to talk about this episode, but there's no way I can wait. There's no way. Not after this. But yeah, so I like Guren's team have a pretty solid strategy. Like they all work in sync, in tandem, and they have a strategy lined out. Like they're very, very well off. And I think that all of their talents, like they all mesh well, it seems. But the moment that I didn't even think about this last episode, but of course, Guren's not alone. That's his whole thing. We don't fight alone. We have 5 so we can make a formation. And so he challenges Mika to the fight and trying to get to Farad. Oh my gosh. And then Farad and them show up with all the other vampires to fight like their squads, right? And so I wanted to see, we have like all these different vampires. We see the 2 that killed Yoichi's sister. We see like one blue-haired girl. There's a couple that look like maybe they're fodder. And Farad is interesting. He's kind of grown on me a little bit this episode because it seems like he teases Mika a lot and he's such a diva, but it seems like I will give Farad this. He doesn't force, the fight. He lets Mika fight on his own. I think to try to prove Mika a point that he's like, you need to join us. Otherwise these guys are going to kill you. Look. Oh my God. Farad next episode, he is going to give Mika 9 kinds of hell because he's like, oh, was that the boy that you were trying to find all these years that stabbed you in the heart? No. I'm not ready for the angst. I'm not. Oh my God, but I am. I've waited for this moment, and this was a lot more than I thought it was going to be, and I'm really excited by it. But yeah, so he's like, let's exterminate these low-life human beings. Okay, so yeah, both sides want to just get rid of the other, and I'm really impressed that Shinoa brings that up to you. We'll get to that point. I'm really glad she brings that up. So yeah, and then we have everybody there. They're all going after each other. And then they make the reference to the Last Supper. I'm like, as if we needed more Christian undertones. The whole idea of the Last Supper. Let's just bring that up. Okay. I'm so fascinated. All right. Guren's sword is very, very neat. It just emits these like ribbons and smoke of demonic energy. It's very, very cool. And we know that, what's her face? The girl with the red hair, and I've already forgotten her name. I feel bad. My mind's going blank because I'm just so hyped from this episode. But she has the brass knuckles. I really like Sayuri has the wrapped sword, the sword wrapped up in bandages, which this episode gave me a very Bleach vibe. I got a lot of Bleach vibes from this episode. The wrapped sword reminds me of Kenpachi from Bleach. Like the idea that it's just wrapped up and that I'm assuming when she releases the bandages that like activates its power or something. It gave me both Kenpachi from Bleach and also Nanami from Jujutsu Kaisen vibes, which is kind of cool. I like it. I'm also noticing rewatching this in the OP that when the blood splatters on Mika's face, it doesn't go in his mouth. It goes around it, like he doesn't drink the human blood. Interesting. Oh my god, the angst. I'm not ready for it. But yeah, so, okay. Alright, so yeah. And then we have the dude with the pipe, the sweet illusionary spell pipe. Crazy. That may be my favorite weapon at this point, is just a pipe. I never would have imagined that being used in this series. Okay. And so yeah, and then the swords that Mika use their blood as a weapon. But Mika doesn't seem like he has a lot of blood, so he probably doesn't have a lot to spare. This is interesting. I'm wondering if I'm wondering if Farid will give him some of his blood. Like he'll take him away. My prediction is he's going to take Mika away because he's like, we got to leave. I make a prediction he's going to leave with Mika and he's going to make Mika drink his blood maybe to like save him. He's like, well, fine. If you won't drink a human's blood, then you can drink mine, which would be crazy. But also that would indebt Mika to Farid, it would be crazy if Farid saved Mika and gave him his blood. Or, well, he could use Cruel's blood though. He has like 8 canisters left. It would be interesting at some point in the series if Mika has to drink Farid's blood and then Farid like tries to use that to hoard that against him, being like, oh, I saved your life, remember? And then just to add to the angst of Mika. But man, Mika, he's just like, I'll take him on myself. Results of the choice. Yeah. So there's lots of choices in this episode. A lot. And the choice, it was like all over the place. So the idea of you going against orders to go back and see Yoichi and them and meet up with them. There was that, which honestly, if they had just gone straight to the front lines, we don't know if Kimazuki would have died or not. I mean, even though it was the last vampire, we don't know what would have happened. But if they'd gotten there sooner, God, that's going to add to the angst of you. If they'd gotten there sooner, he could have probably stopped Guren from dying, maybe. I don't know. But then Guren had to make the decision whether to take 2 pills or not. He'd already taken 1. He had 8 minutes left. And so did he take another one on top of it? And Sayuri made the decision to be like, no, don't do that. You could die. And so he considered that. Mika making the choice to fight alone and go after Guren and to kill him. You making that decision to charge in and impale. I don't think Mika's gonna die, obviously. I don't know about Guren, though. We just met Guren, y'all. We were just talking about shipping him with Shinya, and now he's gonna be dead? What? No? Maybe the doping... Maybe. I mean, it looked like it went through his heart, though. But... Oh, God. What if Farid takes Guren away and makes him a vampire? I don't know! It would be hilarious if Farid took Guren away and was like, I'll make him a vampire, just to add to the angst. I don't know. But I'm like, is Guren really going to die? Or is he going to get turned into a vampire? Or is he going to somehow the doping effect, like, heals their body, accelerates the body healing somehow to where they won't instantly KO? I could see that. I could see that being like a benefit of the doping, is that your body doesn't instantly die. It heals itself or something. I don't know. Or the demon does it. I don't know. I will say this was one critique of the episode, because this episode was bonkers. But I did notice, if I had to critique the episode for anything, It is the fact that during some of the fight scenes, and I don't know if maybe this is a manga thing, but for some of the fight scenes, they don't show any actual animation. It's just like a still of them all going at each other, and there's like the wavy lines on either side, but it doesn't show the actual animation of the battle. It's just a minor thing. It's a little nitpick. It's nothing big. It's just something that was noticeable, so I wanted to point it out. But so we go back to this flashback of Mika and you, oh my god, and just like setting it all up. As soon as they showed this flashback, I was wondering, I'm like, are they gonna meet up this episode? Is it gonna happen? I was like, I don't know, I didn't want to get my hopes up. And then this episode happened. But yeah, then they're like, meal's on, lunchtime. And so then, yeah, of course it's Mika and you with like the train and all the toys and stuff. And I like that Mika has like his legs kicking back and forth and Yu's reading the book. Like reading what looks like a fairy tale book. He says, I'm busy. I'm in the middle of my story. And he's like, I'm trying to read. What's up? And he's like, if you could escape from here, what would you want to do, you? And he's like, what nonsense are you talking about? It's like the virus spread to the outside. So yeah, them thinking that there's no way for them to go outside. And Mika's like, well, hypothetically, what would you want to do if it was just us family? In a world without vampires, don't you think that would be fun? And honestly, it was weird because in this moment where Mika presents this scenario where just us family, he says, that sounds fun, but and he's like, yeah, really. And Mika's like, okay, then I'll need to get busy trying to make that a reality. And that's when we know he's been going to Fair to try to get his blood drank and get the gun and everything else. But when he said, but, I wondered if you was like, it wouldn't be enough with just us. Wouldn't it be better if there were other people? And so that's what I took from it, is that you was like, yeah, it'd be cool if it was just us, but wouldn't we want others there too? Like, the world needs to be bigger. It doesn't need to just be us, right? So I don't know. I don't know if that's what he meant, but oh my gosh. Okay. And then, but it didn't happen like Mika said. It didn't go down, and the world wasn't a paradise either. No, that's the thing. The things didn't work out the way they wanted to, and the world isn't a paradise. I love that. I love it. It's just recognizing the reality of the situation, that this situation is messed up, and that it's not. It's almost like that was the dream, but the dream's never going to be a reality. But I want you and Mika to be together. Darn it! This is why this is a long running series. So yeah, so they dropped off the corporal at the first aid clinic, and then Shanoa seems to have been getting information from the checkpoint. She's been getting information from Guren or from Sayuri or from one of the others, because she knows a little bit more than you. And I will say that I like that we get you humanized in this, where he's happy that the corporal's going to be okay and he's going to live. But then you juxtapose that with him getting so angry and just stabbing Mika, and it's like, oh my gosh, this show. But yeah, so Shanoa has information that the others seem to not have, because it makes sense. She's a Hiragi. She's on the higher up because of her family. Hashtag nepotism, right? And so she says they're supposed to go to the front lines. That was Guren's order. And Yu goes against it. And so that's the other thing too. I'm like, are they going to get mad at you because you delayed them from going to the defense line? Are they going to get, is Yu going to blame himself? Oh, God. Yeah, like what? What are we going to do with this? And so she said there's been messages being sent to each post. And as soon as she said 5th Street, I'm like, oh my God, they're going to meet up with where Mika and them are. And that's when they just by happenstance hear the guys complaining that there's a vampire troop that's been giving this group a lot of trouble, and they need ace and they need backup. And you, thinking that it's the Mitsuba squad, goes after them instead. It's like there's so many like what ifs in this episode of like what could happen. But yeah, Shanoa says in this moment, he says, Yu tells her the main forces, if we crush them, then we'll win, right? And Shanoa responds to him and says, I'm sure they're thinking the same thing. Crush the LTC and they win. So she's like, they're thinking the exact same thing we are, right? So every side's fighting. That's what makes it dangerous, is that every side's fighting to the hardest that they can. So we need to help out as much as we can, because the other side's not holding back. But then, yeah, they just happen to run into that guy that talks to them about the Mitsuba squad. Uh-huh. Oh my gosh, this episode. There's just so many what ifs. There are so many what ifs of what could happen, and like decisions that were made in this episode are going to have, I'm sure, impacts for the rest of the series. But what an insane thing. Oh my gosh. So yeah, so that's when you and them decide to go, and Shanoa goes with them, and then we cut back to the vampires fighting and everything. And I like Sayuri's blade. It's wrapped up. It's very cool. Mito, and I will back you up. So Mito is the girl with the brass knuckles. Yep. Gotcha. Mito's the girl with the brass knuckles. That's right. And then the ones that killed Yoichi's sister and Mika are the ones guarding Farad. So they're the higher ups here. And Farad always has to have the high ground. Always. He says, this is getting interesting. If only the 13th progenitor, Crowley. So Mika was born from Cruel, who's the third progenitor. And she's, as far as we know, the highest up we've seen. We've not seen the first and the second. We've just seen Cruel, who's the third. And Crowley's the 13th. I forget. I think, is Farad like the 7th or the 8th? He's just kind of right there in the middle. Yeah, but Crowley's not there. So where the heck is Crowley? And then Lakis and Renee are sent to go round up the others and hold off everyone but the reckless one. Okay. So basically Guren, they're going to try to single him out. Oh my gosh. And so Farad kind of goads him. He's like, I want to see you in action. We've not seen you in action. Let's see you fight. And Mika's like, I really don't want to around you. Like, he's just like, no. But Guren is a threat. And then I think Farad realizes how dangerous Guren is. He's like, you and I will kill that pompous man. Okay. So he wanted to work with Farad, and Mika's like, nah, I can do it alone. But he ends up needing Farad's help because of the trap that was laid. Interesting. And he's like, he provoked me, so I'm going to make him regret it. And then, yeah, his sword. And they don't say his sword has a name. Unlike the demon swords, he doesn't give his sword a name. So interesting. So yeah, we cut to them helping out the vampire extermination. Yoichi got like a cut on his arm. But, I mean, I like that you in this moment, because Kimizuki is like, well, we had this covered. You didn't need to watch over us. And it's like, we don't know that. What if he hadn't come? Would Kimizuki have died? Probably not. I'm sure something would have happened in the end to save him, but in the moment you don't know, right? But I love that you says it doesn't matter what you say. I would, even if I had to do this over again 1,000 times, I would come back to save you because we're family. And that's like what Shanoa says. She's like, we're a family now, and I'm putting my life on the line for this family. So we need to stick together. And I like that you was like, I'm never, and when he said, he's like, we're going to stay together forever and ever, and I'm never going to leave you. It's like, because yeah, Yu's finally, God, the angst in this show. It's like as soon as Yu finds a new family, as soon as he gets comfortable with this new family, and he seems like he's forgiven himself for running away all those years, it's the craziest thing. He does, it's such a parallel, because in the past, he ran straight forward, and he ran, no, let me go back to the first episode. Mika was the one that ran straight forward and fired the gun, and Mika got killed from it, right? And Yu ran away. But in this case, it's kind of the opposite. Yu runs head first to attack what was Farad back then, but is Mika now, and we don't get to see the result of it. That's why I'm like, And some of these vampires, they look so elven. It's interesting. They look very elven. And I do like Shanoa has this pose. Shanoa's like, look at my pose. Look at me. You shouldn't turn your eyes away, Mitsu. Shanoa has a great, I imagine seeing that in the manga, her having the pose with the scythe. It's great. And then, yeah, Yu kills the last vampire. And then they do the thing where Yu's like, I would come back and get you. Tomorrow would be the exact same thing. And Kimizuki doesn't get it. He's like, weren't you listening to me? And Yu's like, no, you don't understand. It's like, it's not that I don't trust you guys, but I'm still coming. He's like, I trust you all, but that doesn't change the fact that we're family and I care about you. I'm still going to help you. Tomorrow, the day after, forever. The parallels. And Kimizuki's like, you're a baka. It's like, you don't even know. And yeah, they just give him a hard time. But then the sunlight comes out and I'm like, damn it. It's like this beautiful moment happens with you and the Mitsuba squad, and like the sun comes out and it's all happy sunshine and rainbows, and then we cut to Guren fighting Mika, and it just all goes to hell in a handbasket. Because, yeah, I love this battle, too. I really love this battle where it's just all the vampires fighting and everything. We see this guy with the illusionary pipe. Mm-hmm. And Guren being able to like jump up on the poles and everything, he's basically doping at this point. That makes sense. They didn't confront the vampire den until they all took the pills. Okay. And then him and Mika, and him recognizing that Mika is a tough opponent. I'm still curious that Guren didn't comment that Mika doesn't look like a vampire. Because he doesn't look like the rest of them. His eyes aren't red. He does not have the elven ears. He doesn't physically, he looks like a human. Unless for the pointy teeth, you wouldn't know. So I'm curious that Guren never commented about that. But maybe Mika is not the first ex-human that they've encountered, right? Maybe he's not the first turned human they've seen. And so the fact that he's just fighting for them is good enough for them. But I'm amazed he didn't comment about it. That nothing was mentioned. He just says that you're strong. And it's like, mm-hmm. It's like, yup. And I like that Mika says, but you're not strong. He's like, you have to result in the doping and everything. And so then we have this talisman, right? We got Guren's sword name. It's Mahiru no Yo. What a weird name. I'm curious. I'll have to look up. I don't want to look up because I don't want spoilers. But I'm sure in the comments y'all tell me what that sword name means. I don't want to look it up because I don't want spoilers. I feel like anytime I want to look up something, it's going to instantly give me like spoilers to the show. And I don't want that. But interesting. But yeah. So then he puts this talisman on Yu's head. And it's kind of cute the moment that Yu like looks at the talisman. He's like, Like, oh yeah. And so then he says, Fudo Mio O spell. So it's like an explosionary spell. Okay. And it is rather slow. It slowly crumples apart the building and the other vampires are like, huh. And even Mito's like, oh, he used a spell. So I'm guessing that's one of the charms that Shinoa was talking about. And yeah, Mika says, you really think an old spellcraft like that will work on vampires. So I'm assuming by old spellcraft that Mika has done his research, and probably while he's been hanging out with Cruel, he's had nothing else to do, and he doesn't want to talk to Farid. So he's instead just done research on vampires and the spells and everything, so he can be prepared. It makes sense. We saw you and him reading books. Makes sense he wants to do his research. And we know from him gathering the gun and the map and stuff that Mika tries to be prepared. So all makes sense. But yeah, and then Farid showing up, he says, just as expected, Mika, overwhelming power and arrogance. But that arrogance is going to get the rug pulled out under you. Do you need help? So it's like Farid is letting him have this. He's like, baby Mika, you're in a tough spot. You need to realize this. And every time we cut to Farid, he just like has the hand on the hip, the legs cocked. Like the vampire could not be more flamboyant if he tried. I love that about Farid. I love how he leans into the diva. I'm all about that. But yeah, you would think the vampires would be arrogant too, but I guess Farid, I don't know if I describe Farid as arrogant. He's a douche, but I don't think he's arrogant. So that's a good note. And then of course Mika's like, I don't need help. How could I possibly lose? And Farid's like, you're arrogant. And he's like, because the rug under you. He's like, look. And then we see the different little stakes of the little spikes that she put into the ground, the knives, all connected together like with the string, and it's green for the demon. Interesting. And then Farid's like, our enemies don't plan fighting one-on-one from the start. He's like, silly Mika. He's like, these guys have never been fighting one-on-one. They've been luring you into a trap. So I like that. I like that Mika's learning this in this moment. And Mika's like, well, shit. Oh, no. And then that's when, and even as I'm reviewing, that's when, like, she pulls up let me go back here. Shiguri. Yeah, Shiguri. He's like, kill them. Yeah. And that's when Shiguri pulls up. So it's Mito and Shiguri and Sayuri and Guren and then the other guy. And so she pulls up, and I like that she has like the rings attached so she can kind of move the knives and the strings around. And Mika dodges them for the most part. And then Goshi. Okay, so Goshi is the guy. So we have Mito, we have Goshi, we have Shiguri, and we have Sayuri, lots of E's, and then Guren. Okay, and Goshi casts the illusionary spell. Yeah, so they're all working in tandem, and Guren is the leader. And he's like, already am. I do love the pipe. It's very cool. All right, and Mika's like, well, shit. And so him dodging and everything gets him right where And I like that in that moment, he's like, okay. And that's when Guren says, there, checkmate, vampire. And then that's when Farid steps in. And this moment where it's like, well, about that, I want to take a picture of it, of Guren's face. Oh my God. What the heck? I want to go back and get that. But yeah, Farid's like, fine, I'll step in and help you out of the kindness of my heart. Oh my gosh. And then yeah, Guren's like, now you owe me one. So yeah, so he's like, yeah, I just saved your life, so you owe me. And then him just punching Guren in the face. And that punch, I will say, the animation, they saved all their budget this episode for the animation of Guren flying through the air, just getting walloped. Like, he just hits everything. God. And I feel like if he hadn't been doping, he would have been dead. Which maybe that's part of it. He survived all of that. Okay. So maybe getting stabbed like that while he was doped up is okay. Maybe. I'm like in denial that Guren's dying. The silver-haired vampire is extraordinarily strong. Yep. Mm-hmm. And he's like, see, Mika, don't underestimate humans. They're tricky, greedy, and sneaky. But it's funny because the vampires are kind of... Well, yeah, I guess they are kind of too, so... And he's like, although it feels weird saying that to an ex-human. He's like, shut up. He's like, so yeah, Mika is trying to retain some of his humanity. That's why he doesn't want to fight with Farid. He doesn't want to fight alongside him. He's like, let's get serious now. If we both work together, and Mika's like, I don't want to do that. He's like, I'm fine. I don't need you. He's like, I know what their tactics are now, so just take more of a blood sword and it's fine. And so Farid's like, okay, that's awfully risky of you. He's like, you're arrogant. Is that arrogance because you were a human until recently? And so then, yeah, Guren checks the stopwatch and knows he has 8 minutes left. That's what that's for, to time it. Okay. And so then he's like, we have to kill him before the pill wears out. God. And then, yeah, this all goes downhill so quickly. Oh my gosh, I want to just get to that point again. It's just, And then, yeah, they're fighting, and he calls him a child, and it's like, well, Mika's technically not that much, he's like, he's been a kid until recently, but oh my gosh, this whole building up the battle, and then Guren gets knocked down, and he's just ready to kill him. Oh my gosh, he says it looks like this is it. And I like that Farid's watching, being like, is he actually going to kill him or not? Like, that look on his face was interesting. Like, looking at Guren, like he almost felt sorry for him. And he's like, Mika, you need to hurry up and take care of him before backup gets here. And I really thought that they were going to see. I thought that you and Mika were going to see each other before this all went down. But no! That's not how it goes. It's not how it goes. Oh my gosh. And then they run in. And Funimation was lagging so bad at this point that I was like, why? Why did you choose now? And he says, this is it, human. And then Guren, I feel like Guren, either he's accepting death and been like, damn it, or he was waiting to get, oh my God. But then, yeah. No, he got stabbed in the heart. Oh my God. I didn't think it was going to happen. I didn't think he was really going to get stabbed. I was so convinced. But he stabbed him. He sure did. And then it's almost like Guren doesn't believe it. And they said, what are you doing to Guren? And that's when Mika heard him and he recognized the voice. Oh my gosh. And Yu wasn't thinking. He just saw somebody attacked Guren and he ran in head on. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Ah! And he got stabbed like right through the heart. And that's when he knows it's him. Oh my God. Oh, then we stop. Like, the look on Yu's face is so heartbreaking. No! Y'all expect me to not watch the next episode. We only have 2 episodes left of the season, but I don't think I can wait. I don't think I can wait. No. Damn it. I need to know if Guren's really dead. This is not good. This is not good. It's not good. It's not good. What do we do? So yeah, it's fine. It's all good. So there's that. I'm very curious to know your thoughts down below. Please no spoilers, but oh my God. So yeah, I may or may not wait to watch episode 11. We will see. But this episode was really good. I don't know what to expect now, but we'll find out, won't we? So yeah, in the meantime, I hope y'all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe. Take care. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'll be back next week with episode 11, the penultimate episode of Core 1, Season 1 of Seraph of the End. Bye.